if you guys need it or not. But if you need community service hours, there is an official document that we'll be sending out to everyone who participated. So if you are someone in need of those hours, we'll definitely make sure that you get. I think we're giving everyone a total of 4 or 5 hours for the event. So, yeah, if you're looking for those, we'll make sure we get that to you. All right, and then 5 o'clock, Madam Chair.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us for the January 24th meeting of the Student Advisory Council. We will now call the January 24th, 2024 council meeting to order. Ms. Gibson, will you please call the roll?
Representing Best Academy, Mr. Kevin Scott Jr.
Here.
Representing Best Academy, Mr. Marquavius Clayton.
Here.
Representing Carver Early College, Herman McGee.
Here.
Representing Carver Early College, Zachariah Artister.
Here.
Representing Carver STEAM, Malik Paris. Representing Carver STEAM, Daria Hughley. Representing Charles Drew, Gabriel Bivens. Representing CSK, Anike Akani Jenkins. Representing CSK, Shatara Hightower.
Here.
Representing Frederick Douglass, Denisha Griggs.
Here.
Representing Maynard Jackson, Liam Smith. Representing Maynard Jackson, Kelsey Allen. Representing Kip Atlanta Collegiate, Kennedy Upshaw. Representing Kip Atlanta Collegiate, Caleb Witcher. Representing Benjamin E. Mays, Tamar Eccles.
Here.
Representing Benjamin E. Mays, Tanaya Lawrence. Representing Midtown, Liam Norzing. Representing Midtown, Madison Walker.
Here.
Representing North Atlanta, Iridian Santiago.
Here.
Representing North Atlanta, Luke McCullough.
Here.
Representing South Atlanta, DeMar Goodman.
Here.
Representing Thurl High School, Kyla Sewell.
Here.
Representing Thurl High School, Terrence Harris. Representing Washington, Peyton Hall. Representing Washington, Brooke Shelton.
Here. Is there a motion to approve the December 13th Student Advisory Council meeting minutes?
I motion.
Is there a second?
I second.
It was moved by DeMar and properly seconded by Iridian. Are there any questions? All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Please review the meeting agenda. Is there a motion to approve the January 24th Student Advisory Council agenda?
I motion.
Is there a second?
I second.
It was moved by Liam, properly seconded by Zachariah. Are there any questions? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? So for today's wellness check, we're going to go around and say, what color are you feeling like today? So today I'm feeling kind of green. Not too bad, not too good. So green. Kevin, you go first.
Good afternoon. I'm feeling yellow, bright as the sun.
Hello, blue, cool and collected.
I think I'm feeling like a light gray, like not like the sad one outside, but just yeah.
I'm green because I like rain.
I'm yellow because that's my favorite color.
I guess I could say brown because, you know, I got the brown on, no tan.
I guess I'm feeling kind of red or kind of a maroon because I'm just here, you know, helping.
I am feeling blue. That's my favorite color and one of my school colors. I had a good day.
I'm feeling like a pale blue, a little bit because of the weather, but I'm here. And yeah.
Same as Tamar, blue, because it's my favorite color.
Green, because I feel good.
I'm feeling like light purple. That sounds like a calm color to me.
I'd probably say brown, like just very neutral.
I'm feeling nude pink.
I'm feeling like a mixture between blue and gray because today has been very boring for me, but I'm just letting it flow.
Okay, I like those. I said green. I said green, yeah. Okay, so we're starting with Dr. Battle. Okay, how you doing today? Good. Okay.
And thank you. I'm just ready to talk. It always good to be in your presence. You make me feel extremely proud and remind me and remind our team, my team every day why we do what we do. It's for you and all the students at Atlanta Public Schools, so thank you so much. I don't see the thing on the screen, so I'm gonna keep going. So last time we talked about, you all shared a letter the first time, and then I shared some of the things that were going on in Atlanta. And so some of the things that have happened since we last met. The state acknowledged our graduation rate. It's the highest Atlanta Public Schools has ever seen, and I expect that the seniors in here will help us break that this year. Yes, so we're extremely proud of that work. Of course, we know we have so much more work to do, but we're making strides, and that's important. The state of Georgia, the Georgia Department of Education, recognized 14 of our elementary schools for literacy leaders. That means we had some schools that were already in the 90% in their third graders were proficient. And then we had schools that had at least a 15-point increase. That was the majority of the schools that were on that list. So let's give those elementary schools a big hand. We had community meetings, had 4 different community meetings in all sides of our city. And some of the highlights from that was the work for our Atlanta Public Schools Police Department. They got raving reviews. I know you see them in the officers of your schools. Our officers are trained like no other. So, they're trained to really interact with young people, really trained to look for mental illness or people in crises, and to just build relationships with people instead of always policing like sometimes we see on the street. So that department was highlighted. And as hard a time as I give our transportation department was highlighted. I saw John Franklin in here, and so we want to thank him for the work that he does each and every day. We know that his team, they have so majority of our students, they transport, whether it's to school and back home or to an athletic event or to a field trip, they're moving all the time. There's no time that I go on 20, 75, or in our communities, I don't see one of those yellow buses. So we want to thank them for all the work that they do. And then also, good news, next year, for the seniors, you'll miss this, but our juniors, we're bringing our nutrition department back in-house. That means, and that's from feedback from you guys and the parents, with mostly our students saying, this isn't good, or these people really are not connecting with us. So they're bringing the nutrition department back in-house. So that means all of those employees will be APS employees. And when you're vested, it's your home, you're going to keep it a little cleaner, you're going to work a little harder, and they know that we're invested in them as well. So that's some all great news. We also have, how many high school students had to take the MAP in the last couple of years, the MAP assessment? Well, we're doing away with that for our high school students. We're transitioning them out. And I think there may be a small number of students, we know where you are, right? We don't need to over-test you all, right? So we're going to pull that out. Going to transition you guys out. There may be a few students that we may need to assess, but it will not be all the ninth graders, please. We do a MAP testing today. Have your computers charged. We won't be saying that to you next year, to those students next year. Credit recovery. How many of you heard of Grad U at your school? All your high schools should have it, Grad U. So that is a place that students can do credit recovery. And maybe you haven't heard of it because you don't need it. But we do have it for our students. Grad U is for our high school students. It's something new. Teachers have been trained on it, but it gives our students an opportunity to get that credit recovery that our students need so we can keep our students graduating. Some of the feedback you've heard, and this is a big one, and I was like, I'm going to go down making sure this happens. On February 19th, the advisory council will speak with our principals. So I want you to know that. Mr. Glass, and I'm just calling him, sorry. He's going to make sure he's working with our schools department to ensure that you all are there. He's going to come up with a plan. Oh, the 14th, I'm sorry. Okay, Valentine's Day, sorry. Somehow in my notes I have 9. Okay, the 14th, Valentine's Day. So we're going to share, you're going to share some love with our leaders, right? You're going to tell them what's really going on and the support that you need. But they'll come up with, they're strategizing on what you're going to present. So on Valentine's Day, I'm sending my love to you so you can send it to the principals. Okay. Our relationship with Atlanta, with the city of Atlanta, is strengthening. Thanks to you, and some of you all have been a part of this work. You know, the Mayor Dickens, has said that 2023 was a year to youth. Well, he's going to continue that. So this year is also the year to youth. So it's about our students, young people in the city of Atlanta, because we know that you guys are our future. Some of the things that we've done with the city, with this year to youth, some of you all heard of Minecraft, the game. Have you ever heard of Minecraft? Okay, so there's a game, but we have something called Level Up Atlanta, and it takes 4 different portions of our city, and kids are creating, young people are creating, they're building their own little city, and they have a challenge in how to make the area better. So it's a contest that's going on. Also, on Martin Luther King's birthday holiday, which happened to be his birthday too, last Monday, MLK at the city and 100 black men, the emerging 100 black men, which Mrs. Glass is a part, they did a big service project, and many of our students came out, as well as local college students, but it was good to see so many Atlanta public schools, high schools, and I did see some middle school students there as well. Mayor Dickens attended, who's from Washington in here? Okay, he came to your school. I don't know if you had an opportunity to talk with him, but he wanted to talk to the youth. He chose a school, and he came out and he had the opportunity to speak with students about what they need, what's going on, what the city looks like, what's going on. So he's making that a priority. And as superintendent and as Atlanta Public Schools, we're making sure we're partnering with him with that work. So please know that is going on behind the scenes. Some instructional things that are happening. You talked about trainings that your teachers need. Well, we have had our middle school and elementary teachers. They've been trained in instructional strategies, inquiry-based training, as well as collaborating with those signature program coordinators for all of our schools. Our health and PE, they've purchased interactive equipment to introduce our schools to alternative PE units. We've also increased our mentorship and internships, and I know that was a direct request from you guys, for our gifted and talented high school students to connect with real-world experiences and professionals, and we also have partnered with Georgia Tech in this work. We also have other enrichment activities that you may have heard of, and if you haven't, please see your counselor. There's an Auburn University modeling for future math competition for all of our high schools. There's a Georgia Southern University STEM conference. This is for middle school students, but I still need you to know about it because you have middle school friends that you might can share this information with. And then for elementary schools, some of you all, if you didn't, we definitely try to send our gifted and talented students to Rock Eagle exploratory trips for our elementary school students. So, and we will also continue our culture experience projects, the CEP projects. I know second graders, they always go to the symphony. We have some people that go to JA, each grade level in Atlanta Public Schools. And this is sponsored with the City of Atlanta, their Culture Arts Department, and our arts departments to expose each grade level to some sort of cultural activity during the school year. Something else that we're working on to connect our JRTC program. A lot of times we always talk about college and we leave the career part out. So with our JRTC programs, we currently have 5 JRTC programs in middle schools. A lot of people don't know that, but there are 5 JRTC programs in middle schools in Atlanta, so they can get acclimated before they even get to high school. But all of our high schools have JRTC. I know you see them. And students can take the ASVAB, that's the test that they take in order for military. But we want to expand it to people that may not be in that pathway. There's some people that say, you know what, I really don't want to go to college anymore. I'm going to do something different. And we want to make sure that the military is also a resource to our students. So on March 6th, we have between 300 and 400 students that will go to the Capitol, the Legislative Expo, and they will promote the JRTC and have an opportunity to see the governor as well as state legislators. So again, we will continue to work to expand that. Although we only have JRTC Army in our schools, we will invite the other branches as well. Sometimes you're like, hey, I really don't want to go to the Army. I'm thinking about the Marines. I'm thinking about the Navy, the Air Force, Coast Guard. So we're going to allow to ensure that all of those opportunities, all of those recruiters are allowed to come to Atlanta Public Schools and recruit our students, because we have some students that may be interested. And there are scholarships. Sometimes you go into the military, sometimes they send you to school with ROTC scholarships. So when you get out, you can be a commissioned officer and serve. So we have that, as well as we don't talk a lot about the Georgia National Guard, but they do great work in the state of Georgia. And that's a program, we have the military outfit, but we're doing some work with them about marketing and signage in our schools, on our campuses, because they do the 100% college tuition benefits. So if you're in the Georgia National Guard, they would pay for you to go to college as long as you're a part of that. So that's another option. We want to give you as many options as we can so you can have choice. So we want you to have choice-filled lives. A lot of you all say, well, we're going to college, and that's well and dandy, but if you want to be an entrepreneur, if you want to go to the military, if you want to just do ROTC, whatever you want to do, we want to be able to say we had a hand in supporting that work. We also have been responsive to your concern about LGBTQIA plus community. Right now, that committee and the advisory council, they're actively working to establish GSAs in every school. There are currently 9 in the middle and high schools. So they are seeking 2 student representatives on this council. And the council is currently working to onboard several LGBTQ plus vendors to partner with us to offer a series of workshops specifically focused on these issues. As well as we have our Hispanic community, they meet every Wednesday night, and to hear updates on what's going on, to ask questions. We have translators there. Last month, I had the opportunity to meet with about 80 of our Hispanic families, and they meet every week. When I say every week, they're there. And they meet at 8 o'clock after everyone's off work, the small kids are asleep. But they want to know as well, everyone, we want to be inclusive in Atlanta Public Schools. We've been talking about this for many years, and we want to make sure it comes to fruition that everyone feels like they are part of Atlanta Public Schools. I know it was a lot that I just shared, and I'm here to answer any questions you have. I know there are other presenters behind me, but I want you to know that we care about you. We believe in you. You're making us proud. I always tell people to reach back and grab another colleague or another classmate to come with you. But just know that with you, we continue to lead forward with care. And I want to thank you for all you do for all the students in Atlanta and the adults. You're making us better. We appreciate that. Thank you. Do you have any time for any questions? Okay.
I have one. You named off like a whole lot of amazing things, and I'm very, very proud of all of that. I was just wondering, were there any things that you haven't been able to implement yet, or just anything that we could help out with throughout the schools by like promoting or even thinking of ideas, anything that we could do if need be?
Okay. And I'm looking at my team because they can probably think of some things. I'm looking at Erica.
I know you all have been
Y'all are amazing, just making this
I
work.
know some of you are working with the strategy engagement group around a student bill of rights. And I know that that is in the development stage, but we are looking forward to the chance to work with students, with the board, to really memorialize what you all should be able to expect and demand as students. But that's in its early stages. Of course, literacy is the #1 priority. And we're hoping to lay out this school year some of the first parts of literacy instruction support for our teachers, but that's just the groundwork. You know, literacy instruction is needed not just in the elementary level, but on up through high school. That's going to cost a lot of money, but as you interact with our board, if you would let them know as students what you see in terms of instructional needs for literacy and beyond, that will be helpful as well.
Thank you. And I'm glad, the way that you can help, I was told by a student, not in this room, that when the board members come, some of the principals are telling students what to say. We don't want principals to tell you what to say. I want, and if that's the case, if you need to tell me confidentially, but we need to make sure you're telling the truth. We want to know the pitfalls. We want to know what's really happening. A lot of people ask, and then they say, well, don't tell that. Like when I visit schools, I tell principals, show me. I was at Washington last week as I met with, I don't know if I got a chance to meet with any of you all, but yeah, you weren't there. But I was there, and the kids that I was talking to were kids that could be sitting in this room. And my question was, where are the hellions? Where are the kids that push us? I mean, really, I was like, where are the real kids that we have issues with? I have a phone that I get crisis, anything that happens at your school that the police is called for, or a medical issue, or a weapon, or anything. So I said, we need to talk to those students. We need to know what's really going on, because if we just see the good stuff, we'll never address the things that we really need to address. So I want you all to, when you have that, because I know that many of you are going to be sitting there with those board members, and they want to hear it. We can't keep suppressing what's really going on. That's the only way we're going to get better. And if you just have to grab me and say, hey, you might want to talk to this principal, but we're going to tell them too, but I want to tell you all, if when they come, tell the truth. Say what's not going on. I mean, there's some great things going on, but we know we have work to do. So we're walking around in the buildings. I always say, well, take me to the special ed room. Take me to this teacher that's struggling. Yeah. Luke walked with me at North Atlanta. I mean, I was like, Luke, take me to special ed. Take me here. Take me there. I mean, I want to see the chaos in the cafeteria. I want to see the great things that are happening. I know, but we know there are other things. So I talk to those students. Those students will say, hey, my teacher's boring. My teacher doesn't do this, or I'm really struggling with this. And that's when real conversation happens. So just make sure that when people are asking you, that you really that helps us a lot when we really know the truth. And it's not throwing shade on ourselves, but it's like talking with family members. You got to speak out and tell what's really going on. So that would be very helpful. Thank you. Yes, absolutely. Come on up. Come on up.
Good evening, everyone. I met you all earlier this year, probably October and maybe in the summertime also. I am Shatina Love. I support and am the executive director for our Equity and Social Justice department. And so when you ask, is there something that you can help us with? There is. I have Kyle Bolt here with me. He's our coordinator for special populations. And so when we talk about the LGBTQAI+, and the GSAs that we are wanting to formulate at every school, we have an advisory committee. And so we're going to work with, I don't know if they call you Keith and Kyra, I don't want to. Dr. CT and Mr. Glass, Keith and Kyra. We'll be working with them to send out an invite to you all for those who want to be a part of the advisory committee. And that advisory committee includes Kyle, he directs that team, but it also has some of our school leaders, we have school representation, we have representation from other departments as well. So as we continue to support the development of the GSAs in the schools, we want to hear your voices also, because we can direct what could possibly happen, but often when we start to see movement is when we hear your voices and saying, nope, this doesn't work, or hey, have you thought about this? So we need you guys. We'll be working with your team to send out that invite. It is always virtual, and we host 2 times a day. Sometimes it's in the morning, sometimes it's in the afternoon, or afternoon like 3 o'clock. And so that's how you can help us, and we look forward to joining with you all to do that work.
Yes, ma'am.
I had a question about these resources that you're offering to gifted students. I assume this is as a start-off measure, so we can try to see how it'll work out with gifted students and then provide them to hopefully future students who are not in the program. So I see mentorships, internships, competitions, and the elementary school trips to Rock Eagle. Are all those things being pushed out and available to students who are not in the gifted program as well?
We're going to check, Erica.
I will check with academics specifically about the programs that we mentioned today, just so we can get accurate information.
Thanks, Sue. Great question. Yes, sir.
Hello, Dr. Battle.
Hi there.
My question is about the MAP assessment. So
Yes.
you said next year is planning to be phased out. Is there would that result in a loss of data for APS?
No, we would still do it in elementary and middle schools. And because usually the data that you guys have, it's going to follow you to high school. Now, if there's some kids that are seriously struggling, they may be that little small pocket that we keep. But no, we have plenty of data on you guys. Okay. We do. Teachers are like, we have so much, which we do. We do.
End of year data for you all. You have end of course, and like we have that data. So it's like you're double dipping. And what we have found is the more we assess, the less good data. There you go. Right? Because if I'm taking my milestones end of course, and then a week or 2 later, because it's a really short window, now you're asking me to do MAP, I'm done. Like, can you phone a friend and get that data, right? Like that kind of thing. And so if it's not useful data and we already have end of grade or end of course or end of year data, we don't need it twice, especially if it says the same thing, if that makes sense.
Can I ask a question on that as well? So is the end of year data also kind of looked at as start of the year data? Is that a way that it is used?
So typically what we look at when we do a beginning, middle, and end of year data, we're looking for your growth, right? And so there's always expectations. So at the beginning of the year, I have this. My expected growth from here to here is this, and it should be based on what you're taught, right? And so what we're looking for is that progression. And then when we don't see that progression, if there's a gap, you've either slid back or something, it tells a story. So what is that story? And for every kid, it's a different story, right? And part of it is about that individual. So it could be the class, it could be how it's being taught, but it could be something in your life, right? So we don't just look at your academic, we also look at the whole child, right? Is there something that's happened in your life, or that day you weren't feeling well? So we don't want to look at it as like, whoop, you did terrible, you're out, because it's those are those diagnostics that measure beginning, middle of the year. at the end of the year, but then what is happening during the year as well. So as a teacher, it told me a lot. Like if I could see this, it told me a story. So we look at that so that we can help individually, and we look at trends across our schools and our district. So if we're always seeing at middle of the year, this course, people always drop during this time, we got to figure out why.
Okay. And I won't take any more of your time, Mr. Glass. I know we have other people waiting to present, but I'm always around. When I visit your schools, I typically try to find you guys if you're in there, because a lot of times you all are so busy. But I do want to thank you again for being leaders in your schools as well as our district. Thank you.
All right, so thank you so much for coming as always. So I'm gonna situate us. I know Brooke asked everyone to sit in their committees, but I wanna situate you with what's in front of you, because it's a thicker packet than normal, right? So of course you have your agenda. Behind is the chart that we've been using to update on the recommendations from 21-22 and 22-23. And so in the notes/update section is some information that the adult liaisons from each division or department have been utilizing to provide you with the details behind it. But they're also here to chat with you as well. So there are some updates, there are some changes, there are some things that may not have been able to be addressed. And so please take a minute to kind of review, peruse it, so you know what's in there. And then we will call our wonderful individuals that are here, taking time out of their busy schedules this evening to chat with you. So let's see, Damara, what committee is this represented over here?
We're Equity and Social Justice.
So Equity and Social Justice, we have Ms. Shatina Love. That sounds like you should be on the radio. I like that name. All right, so what do we have next to our Equity and Social Justice?
This is me, Luke, and Brooke. We are in Malik. We are the academics committee.
Academics, okay. Also, Kyle, Mr. Bolt, he'll be over here with Ms. Love as well. All right, so academics. Say more. Oh, Ms. Long. Okay. So if you don't mind partnering with our academics folks for now and just maybe document along with Dr. Battle, if you don't mind. I don't know if you have to leave. Okay. All right. Awesome. Thank you. And then Brooke.
I'm with academics.
You're with academics. Okay. Who's the next committee represented? Schools, okay, so under schools is like nutrition, safety, security. So you have Susan Stone, she's present and accounted for. So she'll come over to you all. And then is there another committee that I did not name?
Operations.
Oh, thank you, operations, let me see. I'm sorry, so then schools, hold on 1 second, I may have misspoke. Oh, schools is Dr. Chino. So schools is gonna be Dr. Chino and Dr. Rose. And then Susan is gonna come over here for operations. So right over here. Yes, all right, sorry about that. And then last but not least?
Budget.
Budget. We don't have anyone for budget. That was not something that was aligned per se with our recommendations, but if you can partner with schools right next to you, that would be awesome.
Should y'all just like scoot down that room?
That's fine. Okay, we can go ahead and start the conversations. You could also grab your food.
My senior night's Friday. My senior night's Friday. At Washington, CSK, 5:30. No, I'm ready. No. So it's changed. So basically, our goal for of course we have goals for the school year to continue to grow. But the majority goal of SAC is to give our recommendations at the end of the school year to talk about, this is what we really want and pass it on to the next group of Student Advisory Council. So this is the past Student Advisory Council recommendations. And the notes at the bottom have been put from people that work in the district after we have sent this in. So now we're sifting through it to see what we want to keep, add to, and talk about. So, yes. Yes. And that's why they put the notes so they can.
I will set a timer for 20 minutes.
So we're doing that. But tomorrow's our chair, so I'll let her take the lead. Let me see. They do favor. Y'all do kind of favor. Okay. Progress for academics. If I'm being frank, this is our second time actually having committee meetings. We have mostly been working as a whole group to solve, I wouldn't say bigger problems, but the bigger problems. So we haven't really sit down to really talk about what has grown. Right. So I think that's what we should talk about today, honestly. And I'm having trouble even finding academics on here. Oh. Okay, here we go. Create, let me see what here we go, okay. Right here. Create virtual options where students can attend classes offered at school. So I think we should cross that out. So that's available, Atlanta Virtual Academy. Right. Seniors, especially. It's about that time of that year. If you need them credits, yeah, they'll send you there. Mhm. They need it. I'm sorry. Okay. Mhm. So we should make a note. Okay.
That was something I think it's more like I can't think of the word, but like best thing you speak after which like particularly which you have. I mean, yeah, the best thing. I can't think of the word of what it's called. Yeah, yeah. There's a question. You know, especially when you have a course where it's more flexible. Obviously, I think that's a responsibility. But if you're a rising to high school, if you're in middle school, or you can fill out 2 requests higher level, or maybe the drop down level. Obviously,
Right. I think this is also important for those kids who are struggling, especially at my school. I just know that it's too. I feel like we need to talk about this. It really goes to academics. 4x8s. Especially, I just feel like if we're gonna do it, it should be across the board. It shouldn't, especially for students who transfer. I transferred the next semester, and now I have a whole. I'm taking classes I've already taken because it's a whole different thing. So I know that might not be possible. Maybe that's something we can take into consideration, right? Yeah, especially because it's pros and cons for both. Do I have to juggle 8 classes? Yes, in a semester. Stay.
some school I because I know it's true. They said that they have like a program. It's more like a club where basically seniors and freshmen can join it, and basically the senior can take.
And then 4x4 is also at Washington. It's a downfall because because students, not even just that. For you to expect me to sit in the class for 90 minutes, honestly, and keep me engaged for 90 minutes, that's unfair to ask the child, and it's unfair to ask the adult to really sit there and do that. It is. So so I've already sat here for 30 minutes. 90 minutes though, an hour and a half. If you can sit for an hour and a half and show me how world history is going after 90 minutes, I'll give you a Grammy because that's impressive. I don't know, that's hard. Is it really? I don't even say that. I can't remember reading much in elementary school. I wasn't a big reader. I'm still not a big reader. It's not something I'm proud of. I need to read more, but yeah.
I feel like though, I'm thinking about this like North Atlanta. I've never thought we also Ivy makes it different. But I never had been invited from like overwhelming. I think for us and where since we're Ivy, like we have so much music for class that works really well. Because I couldn't imagine doing 8 IB classes in one day. stretching out beyond just high school, like maybe the high schools and the incoming middle schoolers, the incoming freshmen, maybe the high schoolers could take on like mentor like the middle school is also on the way, but I know they brought up the issue of like having the principals have to agree with the peer school and have communication there. true personally, but I know people at who are in the genre. I think that might be why they implement a class for it, so they have a teacher actually like in a way teaching the seniors ways to actually interact with the freshmen in a way. Yeah. Yeah.
2.5 minutes remaining.
I think like one of the big things with mental health is it's kind of an issue in a way from I feel like this applies to every APS student, but it's kind of an issue with making students aware of mental health because I don't know when did do you know when the program became documented? Yeah, I didn't even know until like very recently that it existed, and a lot of the students at my school I know don't are aware of it. So I think it's a big thing to like kind of make students aware that these programs exist. Like if they if you do like look at it, HCS have like a lot of programs, but the students aren't being told about them, aren't being made aware of them, so they can't actually take advantage of them. Especially when you have a program that offers like these free therapy sessions that a lot of students would love to take advantage of, but they aren't being made aware of it. So it's kind of hard for them to take advantage of it. Like, what's the point of having the system if you aren't aware of it?
All right, if you could wrap up your conversations, maybe have some next steps. We will organize another meeting, so you don't have to worry about that. And then thank your adult liaisons for coming to meet with you.
Also into those sessions at the same time. So I guess the student does need that after those 5 sessions, if you're just being thrown onto another person, now you gotta build on that whole bond over again. That whole bond just that you built at first is getting destroyed. You gotta build a whole another bond, and maybe you might be more reluctant in a way.
All right, it is 6 o'clock on the dot, so we are ready to transition to our next agenda item. Please make sure you thank our adult representatives from throughout the district for coming. Oh, that we got some selfies going on over here. I love this. This is wonderful. Thank y'all so much for coming out to support our students. They are sharp individuals. They have great ideas. And we appreciate you putting value into their voice. So thank you. All right, Madam Chair Brooke, we're going to continue on with the agenda.
Sounds good.
All right, so next on the agenda, I believe it's me and Keith. All right. Keith, you want the mic over there or you want to come over here? Okay. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
All right, what's up, y'all? All right, so real quickly, we're gonna go through just some quick updates and some reminders. So, so recently, if you are in the process of ever doing an interview or in front of any type of media, our request is that, you definitely let Dr. CT and I know that a media outlet or any type of media press is looking to interview you, just so we can make sure that you're prepped and that you know that we are there with you to support you and just making sure whatever you're answering that you have the right information to be able to successfully do that. I know Brooke and Peyton during our ABOE swearing in ceremony had the opportunity to meet with media and do interviews and something like that, and so Definitely just let us know what the nature is, because we just want to make sure we keep y'all safe and make sure that the right information gets put out there into the system. And so that's a real quick just reminder as it relates to that piece. We have coming up. So first thing we need to discuss is more than a trim 2024. What is that? You ask. I heard somebody ask me. So basically, it's an initiative that the City of Atlanta Mayor's Office put together last year, and they have different themes. I think last year's theme was around, I can't forget what last year's theme was.
It was gun violence.
Gun violence this year.
This year, oh, yeah, it's gangs this year.
Gangs this year,
And
yeah.
what was last year?
I can't
forgot.
remember. But anyway, they are asking for participation from the South Atlanta and Carver cluster. It's going to be held over at Roselle Fam. So that's Damar and Carver, my Maliks and Daria, and Herman and Zachariah. So we'll be leaning on you guys heavily to assist us in this carry out.
Yep. So please save the date from my South Atlanta and Carver cluster representatives, and then we'll touch base with you one-on-one about that. The next
Hold on, what
thing-
was the date?
February 12th, from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Basically, right now, the setup is going to be you all on a panel, but we're trying to kind of iron out what that looks like. You won't have to like do a speech, but you will have to engage in conversation specifically about gang violence. So right now, I guess your task would be to start kind of tapping into your peers about experiences. We don't need names or anything like that, but and some concerns in regards to gang violence in your neighborhoods. Principals meeting. So this is right after. All of the dates are listed here right after the big chart y'all just went through. There's a correction in the date, February the 14th, from 10:45 to 11:45. It will be held at Phoenix Academy. We are working on arranging for the transportation. Before, it was basically going to be a bus that was going to be outside. We had to figure out times and all of that kind of stuff. If you know that you cannot attend on that day due to some big assessment, let us know. More official correspondence will be coming out, but that is during the day. Any questions? Yes.
No, so the date change is the 14th. I know it says the 19th there, but it's the 14th. But yes, it's the 14th. And so, as Dr. CT said, we are arranging transportation. We do know this is during the school day. But again, we will make sure that you guys have all of the clarity y'all need and excuses y'all need for classes and all that kind of stuff too. We're looking also to, if you guys want to present, so the audience are principals, administration leaders, right? And so I guess what you guys need to decide on is what it is that you guys would like to discuss with them. They're giving you guys 30 minutes to an hour to do like a...
Just 30 minutes.
Oh, is it 30? Giving you guys 30 minutes to discuss what it is that you would like for them to know. I don't know, I mentioned to Dr. CT that it may be a conversation around what you guys did at the Family Engagement Conference, but do know that it's on the 12th, on the 14th, and we need you guys to collectively decide what it is that you guys want to present to them on, and what things should they know.
So any thoughts about that? Any open discussion? The floor is open.
It may just be my school, but my principal is like extremely heavily focused on academics, like to an extreme point. And I feel as if she sometimes forgets that school is also a social learning, like you're not just learning how to read and write, but you're also learning how to communicate, how to deal with other people, how to deal in stressful situations. And I feel like principals need to remember that, so I feel like we could probably talk about that.
Any other ideas?
I just want to, I might put it out there, but I just want to, I want to like disciplinary action and the proper way to go about it, not this is how we used to do it back in the day. no, it's not working. It's not effective, and it just make me not even want to walk into the school. I'm serious, it really don't matter to me. But the whole point I'm trying to make is disciplinary action when it comes to lateness. I'm not gonna say assignments because that's up to the teacher, but lateness and other things. Just keeping in mind that we're still kind of adolescent, if that makes sense. We still
So
going
developmentally appropriate
Yeah,
is what you're saying?
yeah.
Okay, disciplinary actions. Okay. All right, so I'm hearing like balancing academics and social learning experiences, disciplinary actions, and appropriateness behind that based on developmental development. Any other things? Yes and yes.
To piggyback off of the disciplinary actions, I think that from what I've experienced in my school, I think that the teachers and the staff should understand a student and what they might or are going through before they try to put, a hammer by the book on a student, because it might not be the student's fault that they're late. They might not, have a choice but to be late based off of the stuff that they have going on, or, like what a student might be going through eternally to why they aren't focused in class, instead of immediately say, you're not doing my work, you're getting a 0, or get out my class.
Got it. Thank you. All right. Yes.
Are programs like that are in the school, is that decided by the district or is that decided by the schools, like the IB program and stuff like that?
It's decided by the cluster, right? So for instance, like North Atlanta, and of course, I guess you ultimately decided by the high school, but that cluster is like an IB cluster.
Okay.
Or what's another example, like STEM or STEAM. You don't see that. So some programs are school-based. The district doesn't say you have to be IB, you have to be STEAM, you have to be performing arts. That's not how it goes, to my understanding. Okay.
It's cluster based.
So I guess it will be a discernment between like the associate soups and probably the high schools on down. But whoever's over that cluster, which in our structure is the associate superintendents, they probably have a say in that as well. And then also historically what has been the focus of that cluster.
Because I was going to say, like, having programs within, like, schools is always, like, a good thing to implement. But I feel like deciding what programs are implemented needs to be solely dependent on the environment, who your students are, what the data is, how they work in the classrooms. Because I know at Thero, the IB program, like, they're having to force students in, like, they're just throwing students in the classes when they're not wanting to be in. So I feel like you really just have to pick these programs based on your group of students and not what you want your school to look like.
And I guess it also should be a reevaluation because the type of students shifts throughout the years. I do know specifically like with IB, there's money associated with it. So if they pay for 5-10 years, I believe it's every 5 years they have to do a recert or whatever, or 3 to 5 years. So that could also be a reason why they're kind of stuck in it. It will be interesting to see like what is the plan going forward to evaluate what current programs are in the schools, and then what is the plan to either keep it or ditch it. So some of those things I believe is connected to coins. But great question. Any other ideas? Yes, Liam.
I'd like to second the point about social development. I think it's important to remind school leaders that we are going to high school, not a testing center.
That's good. So it seems like we might need to have, right? Seems like we might need to have like 3 big buckets for you all to provide feedback on, and maybe have some, because you have 30 minutes. And then, so I hear discipline, school climate and culture, and then school programs, like special programs. And just have like an open dialogue, maybe even have the principals workshop on like a big sheet of paper. Like, can they just ramble off real quick? Like, what are the things you're doing with climate? What are the things you're doing with discipline? What are the things you're doing with programs? and then just kind of have an open discussion, because 30 minutes is not that long.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that. I like that format.
When our committee was meeting, with, I don't know his name, but he was talking about like case studies. And I feel like that's like a good idea, because I feel like when you're a leader, you have to also know how to follow. And like things that work for other schools, it might work for your school. So I feel like doing case studies and looking at what other schools are doing and saying, hey, will this work for my student?
Oh, so you guys are coming up with solutions already. Yeah, so that's a great idea. Absolutely. I love that. All right, so who's right now? Where is it? Okay. Just if we can you jot that down, the top three? So the top three topics we're gonna try to talk about. The first bucket is school climate and culture. And just put like a bullet underneath it, academics and social. So we'll just remember. And then the second one was discipline. And then the third one was school programs. And then underneath that, put IE, IB, STEM, STEAM. What are some other specialty programs? CTAE, ROTC. So yeah, so every school does not offer that. So we need to see like how do you decide what your school is going to offer. All right, thank you. Yes.
I was trying to see if any other schools have been offered a P-Tech program.
Repeat that again. What is it called?
P-Tech program.
I'm not
If our
familiar.
school have, it would be a good opportunity for the other schools. I think it would. Yeah, I think it would really open up the career paths of some students in other schools, because we've had it. It's you know what P-Tech is?
No.
It's a program that Carver STEAM had, where you partner with IBM program. With the IBM program, they get you into dual enrollment for cybersecurity, and if you go all the way up and complete your college course, they'll take you to the actual college to get your degree and give you a I forgot the word.
Like a credential?
Yeah, they're gonna give
Okay.
you a job at IBM.
Oh, okay, like an
right
intern,
out of
okay,
out of high
college,
school.
Out of high school. Wow. Okay.
So.
All right. So yeah, Deja, if you can put that in, I guess, in our group meet, just so we can have it, and then
get people to join certain.
yeah. So I'm thinking maybe if for each one of those buckets, what are you interested in leading a discussion? That we can do a breakout. Like so, I don't know how we can do it where the principals hear everything. So we'll have to work that out. Who wants to take the lead on organizing? All right, Brooke. And then you want to help Damar? Okay, you and Damar will be, if y'all start working on like a slide deck on how maybe some activities, remember it's just 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Chat GPT is an idea to help with an agenda. I love Chat GPT.
I love it.
All right, so the last thing we covered, oh, in GroupMe, there is a link for the Hazel Health Survey. So far, we've only had 2 people to complete it. They came out last semester. They actually had these buttons delivered to my house because it got lost in the mail or something. So wear the buttons, put it on your SAC sweaters. If people ask you in school, like, what's that? You can talk to them about it. So that's what that was for. So please, please, please complete that survey, preferably before you leave. Next, reminders about breakfast with the board. You want to say anything about that?
Yes.
The dates are also in your packet.
Yep. So thank you to Drew. He's not here right now, but I heard Drew was a wonderful start to our breakfast with the boards. How many of you guys have participated in breakfast with the board already? Like just participated just in the past? Yeah. So great. So everybody's pretty much know what it is. Now it is your job now, as sitting in the seats that you guys sit in today, to be the orchestrators of those spaces. I'm going to repeat what Dr. Battle said, and I'm actually going to make it right now. This is something I just thought about doing. I give a cash prize to the best person, to the best school that has the best diverse room of the school. I'm gonna give a cash prize. Because what I have seen in the past is the cream of the crops and all the top 10% and all the best kids become and be polished in front of the school, in front of the board members, like Dr. Battle said. When she walk into the school building, when we walk into the school buildings, we always get the best of the best to be in these rooms. But I want this room to be diverse and to be the kids that don't typically be heard. I want those students in the room. And I want this to be our authentic conversations. Again, this is not a panel conversation. This is not an opportunity for board members to come and do all the talking. No, they need to hear directly from the students, because when you guys look up here, every first Monday of the month, they sit up here and they make decisions that impact you guys. And so the purpose of the Breakfast with the Board is essentially for them to come and say, hey, what is it as a student that you need to tell me, so when I'm going up here and sitting talking to Dr. Battle, I can advocate on your behalf. That's what the whole purpose of intentions of the Breakfast with the Board is. Not for them to go and paint pretty pictures, because we know there are some great things happening, but there are also some things that are not going as, the best that y'all want them to go. They need to know those things. Tell them the beautiful things, but also tell them some things that they need to improve on, right? So I saw a hand. What's up? I go to you, Lamb, and then too.
Can we get a number on that cash prize?
Still to be determined. Still to be determined, but it will be a good prize.
Okay, so I have like a list of students that I would like to pull, not like an actual literal list of people, but like just a list of students within the building that I want there. Would you prefer that, well, not prefer, but would you suggest that I formulate like the categories based on the students that are there? So like if I have students who are athletes and they have concerns about facilities and they have questions and concerns, would you suggest that I do it that way, or do it in categories like we're doing for the principals meeting?
I leave it up to you guys. I know. Oh, so let's see.
I don't know. I feel like doing it as far like according to who's there would be more effective, but I also want it to like stay relevant.
Yeah, because sometimes when you section off like athletes and blah, blah, it could be stereotypical.
Yeah.
So you kind of want to mix it up, because I feel like just because you're an athlete doesn't mean that you don't have anything else to say about SEL, for instance, right?
I agree.
So I would probably do your second option, maybe, like separated by topic.
Okay.
But still make sure you have those diverse people in the room. Yeah.
I just said it that way because I know Iridian, she was talking about the ESOL or
ESOL.
The ESOL
yes.
students. That's why I was like, okay, well, maybe they can come share their concerns.
Yeah.
Because I know they do like a lot of tests, so maybe they feel like I feel like I'm
Bring
being,
everybody.
Yeah.
Yes,
I'll figure
everybody. That's great that you're thinking about that.
Yes. And also the purpose of this too, so what should also happen is you guys should be capturing down, I'd be capturing as well, but you guys should also be capturing down the feedback that you guys receive from these breakfasts with the boards. Because how you guys do your end of the year, how many of you guys participate in end of the year report outs? So I know tomorrow, Marquavius, Deja, the end of the year. Yeah. So end of the year, that's when new recommendations come, and you guys present to the board and to the superintendent. And a lot of that information comes from the information that you receive back from your breakfast with the board. So we're gonna say Best Academy, oh, I heard this, and you'll come to find out North Carolina had the same kind of concerns and issues. So then that's when you guys make recommendations that you'll present and say, hey, based off of what we've heard, here are some recommendations that we think you need to address by X, Y, Z, all right? So be able to capture those feedbacks when we come to your school. What's up, Tamar?
Do we have a date on that, on the end of the year?
It's the 8th.
That's not in here.
I'll look it up.
It's not gonna be how it.
No.
No. Okay.
No. Never again. Never again. No. We end up doing it in June when the kids was out for the summer. Yeah.
It was funny though, guys. It was funny.
Yeah. No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that.
All right, good ideas, good conversation. We have about 8 minutes, so we're going to be very quick. The last thing on the agenda is a problem of practice design thinking initiative. So it is second to the last page. So I've been reading up on an initiative, is the Youth Participatory Action Project. And so I've been partnering with the Innovation and Redesign Division to really figure out what problem can the SAC identify and work to offer a solution as part of like our so we were just talking about the end of the year presentation, but really using the design thinking strategy. And so the problem of practice does not have to be school or academic related. It can be Atlanta related, right? That impacts all of the clusters. So because it's an SAC presentation, we want to make sure that it's universal, that it's not just a problem that's in the Carver cluster or North Atlanta cluster. It's something that if we do find a solution to it, it could be beneficial across the city. So your homework assignment is to think about a problem of practice, whether it be with academic schools within this district, Atlanta Public Schools, or generally speaking. One example could be if there was an issue with clean water, right? I'm going really far out there across the city. And so we can kind of brainstorm to figure out what's a solution to that. Or poverty, that's big, right? APS related, it could be curriculum. We feel like the curriculum is not representative of who we are as individuals. We feel like the programs that are offered at our schools are not representative of who we are as individuals. What are some workarounds? What are some possible solutions? Like every 2 years, we should do an evaluation to see if IB still makes sense. That could be a possible solution. I'm just throwing random ideas that are popping in my head as examples. And so by, what was the date I gave y'all? By January 31st, so the end of this month, if you all, and I'll probably just put a little thing in the group me so you can just easily respond really quickly. But as random things pop up in your head, I know sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night and something pops in my head, I'll just jot it down or text email myself. Email me, text me, and Keith, hey, we should think about this. And then I'll keep a running list. And then when we come back together in February, we'll have someone come and talk, just kind of chat with you about the design thinking process so you can understand it. And then we can kind of work through it. And it'll be kind of a project that we're going to be working on as we prepare recommendations for next year and look at the progress we've made this year. And you all have done a lot of work. Every time we look around, they asking us, SAC, we need to get the SAC to speak or do this or do that. I was like, well, they got to learn, dude. We can't keep pulling them out of school. So those that have been participating, thank you. Those that have been emceeing and being on panels and presenting, people see you. The fact that the superintendent has been almost at every one of your meetings since she's been installed, I don't think that's happened in the past. So you all are really, really making an impact. And we're starting to really bridge the gap with City of Atlanta. That was one of the talking points that she mentioned in Atlanta Public Schools. And we're starting to see that. So, Brooke, I'm turning it over to you.
I got, if I could, just two last things. I'm sorry, Madam Chair, this is not on the agenda, but I forgot that I needed to do this. So as many, well, some of y'all may not know, but some of them do know, SAC also do the SAC Day at the Capitol event where the state legislators, your senators and your House representatives, they're in session right now. And so so we do a SAC Day at the Capitol where you guys come in. So the week that we're off for winter break, I mean, is it winter break? All right, winter break, which is the week of the 22nd through the 26th. We need to choose one of these days that we're going to do our SAC Day at the Capitol where you guys go up and talk to the legislators and all that kind of stuff. So what date do y'all prefer? So it should be that week of the 13th. Oh, yeah, the 13th through 17th. Oh, wait, that's February, right? Oh, yes, wait. Where is it? This 30, 31 to 32, right? No, it's still being 20. Yeah, that one. 30, 31 to 32. February 20th. So Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday? I won't. We just do it because, I mean, when you guys get into marks and stuff, y'all, what now? You rather miss school?
Yeah, I can't do the 20th. I'll be in Louisiana.
I think. All right, y'all tell. Okay, so give me 3 days. Give me 3 days. So y'all want to scratch out one to break. Y'all don't want to do one to break.
Right. Yeah. Because we're doing the Christmas meeting, so we might as well do 15.
Wait.
I think 2 days back to back. February 14 meeting, then capital meeting, we done with it.
Tell me the numbers again, bro. What's the numbers over here?
So
14th is that?
29, oh, the 15th.
Because I know a lot of people going out of town for winter break.
Oh, yeah.
I should have every. I think we need to have every.
Well, unfortunately, we're gonna be on the principal meeting, so I said I suggest 15, so do it back to back as opposed to trying to.
But now here, this the other part. So here's the biggest issue that we always have with external activities. You at Best Academy, you at Washington, you at South Carolina. There's only 2 of y'all at school. So they hate to transport 2 people in one big bus.
Hold up, solution. When we went to UGA, when the top 10% went to UGA, all of APS, Farrell picked up Best and May. So if we could pick up the schools that's close to our schools, that might help.
It may help.
It might. I don't know.
Yeah, we do that all the time. They don't like to do that. What to y'all think? That may be the opposite. Okay, that may be the opposite. So what we did in the past, because it's blue one break, people probably transported to get that morning, and then we all met here, we all walked up.
But I'm saying that it's gonna be the same trouble for transportation, push it out. It's gonna be trouble for somebody gonna have to.
So we might as well pick each other up.
So sessions always typically happen that morning. Yeah, that morning. And I think we went to sometimes like 12:01, we came back from lunch. It was early that morning that we had breakfast and we did settle there and we came back here and had lunch. I think we need to have a conversation. I think Ms. Long, because she'll also probably tell us, all right, go. She'll also probably tell us the best date. What time is it? Oh, it's 6:30. All right, and then what's the last thing? Dang, I had one more thing to tell y'all. I forgot. Go ahead, bro. Close us out. I forgot what I need to tell y'all. Oh. And then but it's still, you still gotta get back to school, so there's still everybody doing it.
I will entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting.
So
Is there a
move.
motion?
So move.
Is there a second?
I second.
It was moved by Tamar and properly second by Luke. Are there any questions? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Have a great Wednesday.
All right, y'all. They came and shared a lot of great information. What is the purpose? Selfish for y'all to leave that information in this room. Go to your schools and share. DeMar, you got time? All right. What's up?